This video is for personal trainers who want to get proficient in understanding the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle, the biology, and how that affects important training factors like exercise performance, appetite, and sleep. Before I dive in, go ahead, like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the red bell to be notified every time I post a new video on menstrual cycle health, fitness, and nutrition for personal trainers. And if you don't know me yet, hey, my name's Omega Zumpano. I'm an exercise scientist and menstrual cycle educator, and this is one of my personal training students who is using the method that I teach in the Confident Menstrual Cycle Coach Academy to assess and address hormonal imbalance for the people in her community. So in today's lesson, we'll review number 1, cyclical biology, number 2, hormone effects on training, hormone effects on appetite, and then hormone effects on sleep. So first things first, cyclical biology. There are 4 distinct phases of the menstrual cycle, and I'm going to draw a graph here to make a visual for you. The menstrual phase / early follicular phase, we'll call that M. The follicular phase, this is also characterized as the late follicular phase, we'll call that F. The ovulatory phase, that's O, and that's usually right in the middle of the menstrual cycle, but that can vary. The luteal phase, which can be broken down into the early, mid, and late luteal phase. The 4 phases are characterized by a change in the hormonal status, so we'll look at that right now. There are 5 important hormones that control the cycle, and they are luteinizing hormone, LH, that's what we'll call that, and we'll do a dashed line for that one. We have follicular stimulating hormone, FSH, a dotted line for that one. Estrogen, we'll do a solid line for that one. Testosterone and progesterone. The menstrual cycle is really an orchestra of the brain and the ovaries communicating. And the menstrual cycle always begins with the menstrual phase. And this phase is characterized by lower hormones and usually lasts anywhere from 3 to 7 days. And after a person stops bleeding, there is a rise in the hormone estrogen, which also conveniently causes a rise in energy too. Now this is called the follicular phase and is characterized by the follicle inside of the ovary maturing to become an egg. And once estrogen concentrations reach a critical point, there is a rise in gonadotropin releasing hormone, which then increases luteinizing hormone in the middle of the cycle. And that's what triggers ovulation. Ovulation is characterized by the rupturing of the follicle and the egg within the follicle releasing into the uterus via the fallopian tube. And we can actually test ourselves and see if ovulation has occurred here. And I explain that in this video on tracking the menstrual cycle, which I'll link to in the comments below. In the ovulatory phase, right after ovulation, the basal body temperature rises 0.5 degrees. Not only that, testosterone also increases during ovulation as well. And after ovulation, we enter the early luteal phase. And in this phase, the now ruptured follicle, which I like to think of like an eggshell, starts releasing progesterone and small amounts of estrogen. In the mid-luteal phase, we have a peak in progesterone and a little bit more estrogen. And finally, in the late luteal phase, estrogen and progesterone decrease. And that rapid drop of both of those hormones is what ultimately causes the menstrual cycle to start all over again. So if you feel like you're understanding the menstrual cycle just a little bit more than you did before, press that like button and we'll continue on to learn about how these hormones affect energy, hunger, and exercise. First, exercise. Since our hormones, estrogen and testosterone, aid in muscle recovery and muscle growth, we are going to experience more muscle growing and muscle repairing potential during the ovulation window when concentrations of those hormones are high. This 2021 study showed us that after ovulation, in our luteal phase, our body actually uses less carbohydrate for fuel and more fatty acids for fuel. And as a trainer, we should pay attention to these differences in substrate utilization, which is what scientific articles call it. So now on to those hunger cues. In the menstrual education world, it is getting more and more known that hunger increases in the second half of the cycle, namely in the early to mid luteal phase when progesterone concentrations are higher. This study by Draper et al. Gives us a unique glimpse as to why this might be. Because our body is preparing for potential pregnancy, we are using more amino acids, vitamin D, and magnesium. So advising our clients to load up on those specific nutrients is very supportive to cycle health. And finally, let's look at sleep, baby. In the second half of the cycle, the luteal phase, progesterone and cortisol seem to have a positive relationship. When progesterone is high, cortisol also gets a little bit of a boost. And most of us know that in the circadian cycle, cortisol is the wake up hormone and melatonin is the go to sleep hormone. And the slight increase of cortisol really affects everyone differently, but some people do find that their sleep quality is impacted in the second half of their cycle. It happens to me. This slight increase in cortisol can make it harder to fall asleep or even stay asleep. Makes it hard for me to stay asleep sometimes. So this is an important factor to take into account as a personal trainer too. If sleep quality is impaired cyclically, we need to change our clients' training to meet this increased stress hormone. I'll share a video at the end that'll help you understand exactly how to do that. So if you want to go from not really understanding the cycle to being a cycle expert, so you can not only help your clients become the fittest, but also the most aligned with their cycle so that they can perform their best in every area of life, consider applying for my Confident Menstrual Cycle Coaching Academy. This is an application-only program, and the application process is very simple. All you need to do is click the link in the description box below, and from there you'll choose a time for a call. And on our call, I'll ask a few application questions, and together you and I will decide if working together is a fit for both of us. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and thank you so much for watching. Watch this video next on creating a workout program to optimize hormones using the cyclical periodization model. I will see you there. Bye.